Hung Cao, running for Senate in Virginia, and he's running strong. Welcome back, Hung. I have already voted for you, so you can't earn my vote. But tell the people who are listening in Virginia why they should vote for Hung Cao like I did.
Well, sir, Virginia is definitely in play, so I don't want anybody to be discouraged. The true numbers are this: the actual number of votes. There's 1.6, actually 1.7 million people have already voted, which is about 38% of the projected electorate. And of those, there's 210,000 less Democrat votes today than there were 4 years ago, and there's 111,000 more Republican votes than there were 4 years ago. And the basic question is this: are you better off today than you were 4 years ago? If you're not, then you need change. And change is not going to come from a 30-year career politician who's asking to stay until year 2030 to fix everything he screwed up.
He is Tim Kaine. He's been in the Senate forever. He's as vanilla a politician. People don't even remember he was on the ticket in 2016 because he's so absolutely invisible in the United States Senate. Hung, tell people who may not have heard you before, who may be listening for the first time, your bio, because it's really one of the more compelling stories among many compelling stories in this cycle.
Thank you, sir. When the communists took over Vietnam, we fled our native country. We had nowhere to go, but this amazing country called the United States took us in and gave us hope and gave us future. And so I went to school. I went to the top schools in the country, including the United States Naval Academy. But I wanted to pay back this country for everything it gave me. So I spent 25 years in Navy Special Operations. As a Navy deep sea diver, I recovered John F. Kennedy Jr., his wife, and his sister-in-law. And then I also recovered other aircrafts that crashed in the ocean. As a Navy bomb technician, I defused bombs for our SEAL teams and Special Forces teams in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Somalia. But now I see this country turning into what I ran away from. And that's why I'm running for U.S. Senate, because our border right now is being overrun. And, as an immigrant to this country, I want to tell everybody who wants to come here, don't ask for the American dream if you're not willing to obey the American laws and embrace the American culture, because I did. I love this country so much. I wrote a blank check up to including my life to defend it in places like Iraq, Afghanistan, and Somalia.
Hung, I was with the Ruthless podcast yesterday, and they told me to ask you sometime about the recovery of John F. Kennedy Jr. Was it a very dangerous dive? Was it a unique circumstance? Because they've heard the story and I haven't.
Well, sir, it's 120 feet of seawater. So, I mean, we were using standard air, but any kind of recovery for aircraft is always dangerous because of all the shard metals. I mean, especially if it's airliner, there's, you know, cut metal everywhere and it could cut through your wetsuit. So we wear chafing gear and everything else. And we wear what's called hard hats, these helmets, like you see behind me right here, a hard hat, and you get full air and communication to the top, and your job is to recover the bodies first, and then you recover the wreckage so that they can do the investigations.
Now, Hung, I know President Trump and Governor Youngkin are all over the place with you. How does it feel inside the Beltway, where I live, right? I'm one of your inside the Beltway voters, and there are not enough of us. How's it feel up here in Northern Virginia, which is deep blue?
So don't forget that Northern Virginia has a lot of immigrants also, and they see what I see is that they're turning this country what we ran away from. So there's a huge alarm amongst the immigrants in this country and the minorities saying, "Hey, this is not good. This is not what we want." And so that's going to shift the needle just enough for us to bring the South in. And I'm telling you right now, I'm winning in Hampton Roads, and believe it or not, I'm winning even by 1% the Richmond metro area. And then, of course, Southwest Virginia is going to come out hard. And that's why President Trump is coming down there this Saturday. You have to ask yourself, with 3 days left in the campaign, why would President Trump come to Virginia? It's because he believes that he and I can win Virginia.
Well, it requires a lot of work and a lot of money. What is the website, Hung Kao, for people to help you out?
Sir, it's hungforva.com. That's HUNGFORVA.com. You may not be able to vote for me if you're in Maryland, but I can vote for you because my vote in the U.S. Senate will secure our border. It'll bring inflation down. We will be energy dominant in this country again, and we will definitely take care of Americans first.
Have you ever worked this hard in a civilian capacity before? Because I literally see you everywhere. It's like you've just thrown yourself into this like you did the Naval Academy plebe year.
Well, sir, this country gave me so much, and there's nothing that I wouldn't do for this country. I mean, we have people who just sit back and do nothing, and they just collect a paycheck. I mean, Tim Kaine and I have been paid by the American people for 30 years, except he has millions of dollars to show for it, and I have scars. So, I mean, he introduced 227 pieces of legislation, and only three made it through. That's a 99% failure rate. I mean, when I defused bombs, our motto was initial success or total failure. With 99% failure rate, I wouldn't be alive talking to you right now. And Tim Kaine, his time's up. I mean, just don't go away mad, just go away.
Just, well put, future Senator Hung Cao. Thank you for joining me. Hung4va.com. Help him out. If you're a Virginian, get out and vote early. The voting stations are open this week. Hung4va.com. Thank you, Hung Cao. Good luck this week.
Thank you, sir.